My name is Riaz Bahari, and this is Islamabad School of Business. Now, I'm going to share some thoughts on essay, an introduction to essay writing. What is an essay? Who are some of the famous essay writers? And what is the history of essay, the evolution of essay? That will be a short lecture on essay and writing and its introduction. I hope you will find it useful. Let us begin. Number one. First thing is, what is an essay? An essay is a literary genre, or we can call it a composition. It is written in prose, not in poetry. It is short. Usually, it can be read in a single sitting. So, an essay is a short literary composition that is written in a lighter tone, but in a graceful manner, and it is in prose, not in poetry, on a given topic, and it shows a person's, an individual's perspective. So you take a topic, and when you write an essay on it, that'll be your personal perspective on it, one individual's perspective on it. So essay is a short literary composition, number one. Number two, it expresses an individual's point of view. It gives an individual's perspective. And number three, it is written in light and pleasant tone. Now, let me tell you about the history. This word essay, the history of this word is, for the first time, this essay was written by, the word essay was written by Montaigne. And he was a French writer, and he wrote the very first, this word Essais. For the first time, Montaigne was one who used this word in this sense, and it was, since then it has been used. The meaning of this word essay means to attempt. So it's a French word, which means to attempt. When it comes to history of essay writing, the first person who wrote an essay, he was Theophrastus, a Greek writer, a Greek philosopher. His essays were not essays in like the sense that we use them today, but they were like sketches. His essays were like sketches. So he is credited to be the first essay writer. So Theophrastus is the first essay writer. He was the one who wrote essays for the first time. And after Theophrastus, then we see French writer Montaigne. Montaigne was the first writer who wrote his essays in 1580, and the title of those writings was Essais. And in English, Sir Francis Bacon is credited to be the first person who started writing essays. His essays were very popular, and they are still popular. And students, they study them. You can search on internet his essay on friendship, his essay on single life and marriage, his essay on of studies. There are a lot of studies. His essays start with OF off. So you will find his essays very useful, interesting. They are pithy, epigrammatic, full of meanings. There are some Latin and French quotations as well. If you have time, do read his essays. So in English, Sir Francis Bacon is the father of English essay. He was the first person. And Sir Francis Bacon, all his writings, whether they are about science or about English essays, all are wonderful. So he was the one who claimed that he had all knowledge. But after 3 years, he recanted his statement. And by the way, he is also credited with the invention of freezing. And he also died of pneumonia when he tried to take a bite at the frost chicken. Unfortunately, he died because of the violent venting of freezing. So he is a great personality. And Francis Bacon is the father of English essay. and try to read. In America, who was the first person? And in Francis Bacon essays, compactness and clarity, these are the two things which are very important. And nowadays, students face a lot of problem writing clear essays. So for clarity of essays, you can read Francis Bacon and you will learn a lot from his essays. In America, Washington Irving was the first person who wrote essays, and Washington Irving wrote essays he published essays in 1820. In 1820, so this is a brief history of Theophrastus. He was the first person who started, and then French. He was Greek. In France, Montaigne was the first person who wrote essays, and Bacon is the father of English essay. In America, Washington Irving is the first person who wrote essays. English style. Now, this is a very important topic in your style. You will have to develop your personal touch on writing. You have to develop your own style. And that it needs a lot of effort. And that is why I am making this video. It's not just taking the topic and start writing, and you start writing and you can write an essay. No, you will have to work on it. You need input. You need to study good writers. You need to study books. And then you'll be able to become a good writer. So let us go to the next point, and that is English style. What does it mean? It means order and movement one gives to one's thoughts. They should be proper words in proper places. So number one, ideas. Number two, order. Number three, proper words in proper places. And individuality. That is a very important point. So it means that your essay must have a personal touch. It means it must have your own imprint. Your essay should be your essay. Let me give an example. When you take papers, English papers, and there is a question, explain with reference to the context. You just read 3 lines, and after reading those 3 lines, you can easily guess who is the writer and what is the name of the poem or drama or novel, and from what is the context. So how you decide, that is the personal touch, the imprint, the style of that writer that helps you in understanding that this is Wordsworth or Shakespeare or Virginia Woolf. So try to create your style. And how can you do that? By reading good writers. You can read some of the good writers, and these are now what is style? Further points about style are Cardinal Newman said it is the shadow of a personality. So when you write, your essay will be in fact shadow of your personality. Longinus said the true ring of style is the true ring of a great soul. He wrote an essay on the sublime. He says that your essay must be sublime. What is sublime? It means that it must have sublimity. So when somebody reads it, he must feel elevation. He must feel enlightenment. He should feel moving up. When you listen to people, some people, when you listen to them, you feel depressed. You don't feel good. Well, there are some people when you listen to them, read them, you feel inspired, motivated, enlightened, and you feel elevation. So it must have sublimity in it. It must be sublime, lofty, high. It should take you higher. Plato said, it's the magic and music of words. That is your style. Aristotle said, it's plain, practical, compact. It should be plain, practical, and compact. That is what Aristotle said. Gibbon said, style is the image of mind. In style is the image of mind. Language should be the outcome of application and study. Stevenson said it requires a lot of effort when you are writing an essay. It needs a lot of effort to make your essay beautiful essay. So in style, it is the verbal. What is style then? The style can be described as verbal expression of thought. And it must have these 7 things. It must have these 7 things. It must have these. Number 1, fitness. Number 2, suggestiveness. Number 3, brevity. Number 4, specificity. Number 5, imitativeness, concurrence, and sequence. These 7 things are important that you will have to work on, and that will make your verbal style. Now, some of the writers who have developed their particular style, they are, and in the words of Thoreau, he said, a great thought is never found in a mean dress. So according to Thoreau's definition, a great thought is never found in a mean dress. And your style is the dress of your ideas. So try to dress your ideas in the best possible manner so that your essay becomes beautifully dressed. That's why cultivate plainness, vigor, and sincerity. Avoid prolixity. And now some of the writers. Addison's style is famous. Characteristics of Addison's style. He had purity, grace, and exactitude. Bacon, who is the father of English essay, his style is conciseness, balance, and antithesis. Bennion, simplicity, clearness, homeliness. Carlyle, vehemence, energy, and abruptness. Goldsmith, clearness, ease, sympathy. Macaulay, vigor, brilliancy, clearness. Newman, sincerity, vivacity, urbanity. Ruskin, melody, flexibility, frankness. Stevenson, freshness, simplicity, deliberateness. Wordsworth, simplicity, ease, grace, insight. Hazlitt said, the proper face of words lies not in the words themselves, but in their application. So that is how you use these words. Now, style, there are two laws of style. Number one, law of climax. Number two, law of variety. Law of climax says it should be energetic, and it should start with the energetic phrase and then follow feebler ones. So first you should start with the most powerful, energetic, and then you should go for the feebler. And it should be progressive. There should be gradual, there should be progression in it and intensity. Law of variety, that is monotony is destructive. You can give variety, as Shakespeare says, variety is the spice of life. Aldous Huxley, who has written very beautiful essays, you can also read his essays, I forgot to mention them here. His essay, The Desert, his essay, Education of an Amphibian, his essay, Knowledge and Understanding. They are very beautiful essays. They're a bit longer, but you should read them. You'll find them very interesting. And he also wrote novels, Brave New World and Island. They're wonderful novels. If you have time, you can read Aldous Huxley. Aldous Huxley says, consistency, that is monotony, is contrary to nature. It is contrary to life. The only completely consistent people are the dead. So create law of variety or law of climax. These two things, these are two styles. And practical suggestions now to develop a new style. Number one, words, Saxon words and Latin origin. Saxon words are easier, and the Latin words are when you have some difficult terms or to explain, you can use these words. Number one, make your words obedient to your will. First thing is, words must be under your control. And how is it possible? When you understand the meanings and usage of word. If you don't know the difference between pillar and column, like I read it in the pillars of newspaper. Why will not be pillars of newspaper, will be in the columns of newspaper. Similarly, I like light tea or light coffee. No, I like weak coffee. It is not. Similarly, I am standing here. I can use it. But we can say that these books are standing on the table. The books are placed or they have been put on the table. Similarly, I'm standing. The trees are standing. It should be trees are grown along the roadside. And similarly, your car. You cannot say that my car is standing outside. The car is parked. Or if there is a cycle near the wall, you cannot say the cycle is standing near the wall. You can say the cycle is propped near the wall. So I see you. I can see you. You can see me. But we cannot say I saw a dream. You can say I had a dream or I dreamt a dream. So try to develop understanding with words, and that will be so that you can use those words. Words should not control you, because then it will create confusion if you're not sure about the words. Cowper was famous for power of bending the most stubborn and intractable words. In Urdu, Josh Mariabadi also had the same power of using words. Words were his slaves. So words should be your slaves. You should control them. They should not control you. Number two, learn how to use words. Develop genuine acquisition. Words are symbols of thought. Each word has an idea. You should learn words, inflections, forms of words, usage of those words. That is very important. And you must have, what you can do? You can, number one, GRE word list. Number two, dictionary every day you can consult. Number three, there are a lot of books like Word Smart, Instant Vocabulary, Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. That's a very good book. You can read that. Or you can just download GRE word list and learn these words every day. And there are many other books as well. Do not be over fastidious in your choice of words. Spirit of independence is important and audacity is important. Learn words and then use them freely when you're writing. Don't worry about too much about it. Otherwise, you will lose the sense of independence. So occasional errors, don't worry about the occasional errors. Never quote anything that is not new and appropriate. Something that is cliche or trite, overused again and again. Don't use them. Try to give something new. Try to give. Robert Frost, the American national poet, said, "Two paths diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled by." If you use those quotations, which are overused, they have been used by everybody, and I think you won't be able to create an impact of newness and originality. So try to read and develop. Goodreads, there are many books about quotations. Goodreads, it's a useful website. You can find some very good quotations about them. Somebody read books and underline those lines which you want to quote, and then quote them exactly as they have been in the books within inverted commas properly. Practice composition every day. It is not just learning them. You should try to practice it. Stevenson always carried two books. Let me give an example of Stephen Heath. One was to read, and the second one was to write in. So try to practice it, and practice rules apart. So every day, write an essay, get it checked. Practice rules apart. Read books such as Renan Martin book, and read the chapter, solve the exercise, and then check it from the key. Similarly, Practical English by Johnson, Martinet, in the same way, Michael Swan, Practical English Usage, that's a very good book. There are a lot of books. Murphy has written books, Oxford, Cambridge, there are many publishers, and the books are available online and in bookstores as well. Read them, and try to develop understanding with English morphology and syntax, grammar of words and grammar of sentences. So your mechanics should be perfect. Once you have done that, when you're writing the essay, don't worry about it. While writing, don't consult grammar books. Just whatever you feel, whatever you think is correct, write it. So practice rules apart. Use the diction that offers itself at the moment. At the moment, whatever words, whatever ideas are coming to your mind, and you think these words are appropriate to convey those ideas, don't worry about it. Just do it. 7, carefully revise your composition. Form the habit of examining and revising. Always write in 3 parts. Number 1, plan. You can spend 15 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks on writing. An American president was asked to deliver a speech, and he said, "Do you want the best speech, average speech, or a bad speech?" The person who wanted him writing, he said, "What do you mean?" He said, "If you want the best speech, then give me at least 2 weeks, 15 days, so that I should prepare well. If you want an average speech, then 1 week is enough. And if you want a bad speech, tell me where to deliver that speech. I can deliver it right now." So you must prepare. If you're not prepared, then it may not be useful for you. So it's a good idea to, number 1, prepare. Then plan, prepare. Then write, and then edit. Always in 3 stages. Always make the habit. Examine and revise. And you can develop this habit of self-monitoring. Always monitor yourself. Always, whatever you're doing, try to, especially writing the essay, then check and edit. Now, some of the famous speakers as well. These are some of the good writers. You can read them, and some of them I couldn't write. Like William Hazlitt was a great writer. You can read his essays and especially his sketches. His sketches were so caustic and acerbic that everybody was angry at him. He wrote sketches on different famous personalities, his own contemporaries, and people got very angry with him because they were so caustic, biting, acerbic. So he died alone. Only Charles Lamb was sitting by his side. And it's not that he had not written Charles Lamb, but because Charles Lamb was a very good natured person. Similarly, Charles Lamb, his essays of failure, Charles Lamb was also a very good essay writer. You can read his essays as well. And some of the speakers, these were the essay writers, and now some of the speakers. If you want excellence in speech, finest and richest language that anybody used, that anybody ever used, that was Erskine. He was by far the best speaker. And he studied Shakespeare too. He prepared Milton and Shakespeare. He studied 2 years. And you can say that he was an authority. You can also study Milton's poetry. That is also very good. You will find it useful. Shakespeare. Don't forget to read Shakespeare. Burke was a very good speaker. You can say that Burke's speeches, or Burke is the textbook of political wisdom. And those students who are preparing for CSS exam, they must study Edmund Burke. Pinckney, he was an intellectual affluence. He had intellectual affluence and elegant diction, best diction. And Webster, like Pinckney had intellectual affluence and he had elegant diction. As in Quaid-e-Azam University School of Politics and Dr. Raja Kesha, he also had elegant diction. And in his columns and his writings, I have seen similar. I maybe it's the influence of Pinckney or his own style, but he also uses very good diction. Webster, lexical resource, he was an expert in it. You should develop and read that. Cicero, legal orations, those students who want to become lawyers, they should read that. And characteristics of simple style. What are the characteristics? So, these examples I gave, they were great masters of oratory, and they must be studied diligently, very carefully, and so that you cultivate a good style after reading them and after reading these writers. Characteristics of simple style, there is easily understood and avoid complicated constructions, mannerisms, exaggerations, use of difficult words, and like Shakespeare says, "Oh, Ophelia, my love for you is more than the love of 48,000 brothers." That is exaggeration. Don't use such things. Direct and unambiguous. Your writing should be direct and it should be unambiguous. Light and pleasant in tone because you want to convey something. So if you are using difficult or ambiguous language, it will create a problem. You won't be able to communicate what you want to. And opposite to this simple style is laborious or pompous style, and that will be obscure. So you can keep a balance. You can use some of them, but overall it should be clarity is the key. And there are different styles. Elegant style that is known for refinement, thought, diction, and that is euphony and rhythm. The graphic style means visual picture when you want to print. Imagination, you can use imagination, picture forming words. Similarly, discursive style, that is, it has a design, and Justice Rustam Kiani, he had this style, he followed this style in his decisions, while writing his decisions. The elevated style, that is lofty. Gibbons, the decline and fall of Roman Empire, he followed that. But one thing remember Gibbon, when he wrote his autobiography, he also followed the same style. But that autobiography was not as successful as this. So it is basically up to you. You will have to decide what kind of topic you're going to write. And the topic will decide which style is useful. You must be flexible. Don't use the same style for every essay. The terse style is minimum words. And paradoxical style, verb economy, past participle, like these things. You know, there are a lot of other styles as well. You can use them and try to keep in mind that when you are going to write your essay, you will have to work on it. You will have to read good writers. And some of the writers I can suggest share with you. Uh, my choice, if you ask for me, that will be Bertrand Russell. His books are very good, but my most favorite are Ariel Dumont and Bill Dumont. Their books, Lessons of History, Mansions of Philosophy, Pleasures of Philosophy, and a lot of other books. So I think that if you want to develop a good style, don't forget to read Ariel Dumont and Will Dumont. Um, they write very good sentences. They have developed their particular style. Their particular style will definitely, you will learn a lot from their diction, syntax, simple, compound, and complex sentences, and the way they convey their message, their ideas, their points. I personally like them, and I hope you will enjoy their books or reading their books. And during these days, as you are free, the whole world is locked down because of Corona pandemic. Your help and your suggestions as well to improve it, because my purpose is, especially during these days when people are sitting at home, they should be reading, they should be studying, and especially students, they should not waste their time. So give me your feedback. You can help me as well because I don't know much about technology and use of computer. So that's why there are some of the problems when I look at these images, this board. Maybe you will have difficulty in reading them. So hopefully, let's make the best use of your time. So thank you very much for being with me. Have a nice day, and see you again very soon with another video.